With us right now is Kevin Faulconer, the former San Diego mayor, who could be throwing his hat into the ring to run for governor of that fine state. Timing could be everything here as California continues to deal with a spike in cases. I believe in Los Angeles County, better than 1 million such cases, the first county to experience something like that. Mayor, very good to have you. If you were to become governor, how would you reverse this distressing trend? It seems to be getting worse, not better.
Well, Neil, good to be back with you. Thank you. And one of the things that I've continued to be very, very vocal on is, look, we have to save lives, but we also have to save livelihoods. And that balance has not been achieved here in California, particularly when we look at, we're one of the states that has been shut down the most. We have small businesses that are hurting, particularly our restaurants, and yet no science behind shutting down outdoor dining as an example. And so we need to make sure that we're being smart about it. We're following the science. But again, what we've seen, unfortunately, coming out of the governor's office, that's not happening.
Mayor, would you tailor California like, a Governor DeSantis in Florida, where there's a minimum of shutdowns and restrictions, and that you urge people to take voluntary efforts? Because for all the controversies around what Ron DeSantis has been experiencing in Florida, something's working. What do you think?
Well, it's exactly that balance, Neil. And as I said, one of the states that's wanted to lock down the most, and we all share the same goal, right? Let's keep people healthy. Let's keep people safe. And yet when we've had policies in California that have not been based on that science, I think that's why you're seeing the frustration. That's why you're seeing the anger across the board in California, Democrats, Republicans, independents. And the fact that we're talking about vaccine distribution. The fact that California is actually one of the worst in terms of where we should be, the most innovative state in the country. Again, it gets back to saving lives and livelihoods and having that right balance.
I know you love your state. It's a beautiful state. But when I read the Los Angeles Times writing that Joe Biden is going to be making America California again, that would be like me putting out an article, follow the Neil Cavuto diet plan again. Not a good idea. And I'm just wondering what you make of that. If Joe Biden were to imitate a lot of the policies being enacted and followed in California, I'm not sure that that's something Americans would welcome.
Well, we're a great state with great people. The fact that, we're proud of our entrepreneur spirit, and again, it's one of the things that makes us California. But I think one of the things that you're seeing is that spirit, that reflective, is not happening at our state capitol right now in terms of our state government. When we see in the problems that we've had, for example, we have 500,000 Californians, Neil, that can't get their unemployment checks still. And yet we've had almost $10 billion of fraud going to prisoners and others. That's just one example of how we need to do things dramatically different at the state level. I would encourage President-elect Biden to look at how we did it in San Diego, however. When we look at what San Diego did to reduce homelessness, the only county in California to reduce it by double digits, Neil, the last 2 years in the row, the work we did on housing, cutting regulations and red tape, and the fact that we know how to do infrastructure. I paved half the streets in our city while I was mayor, and guess what? I did it without raising taxes.
Still, and whether it's in the recall election, you would challenge the governor if you got that far and were your party's nominee, or the next election. It's an uphill battle for a Republican. Republicans have won. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's tough. It's tough in your state. What do you do?
Yeah, I really think it's about common sense, Neil. Look, that's how I won elections in San Diego and governed as mayor. I think people want a governor that's going to bring this state together, that's going to focus on real people, going to protect our economy, small businesses. That's not a Republican or Democratic thing. That's a common sense approach. That's what's been missing in California, and I think that's why people want to change.
All right, Mayor, we'll watch closely. It's an interesting run. We'll keep an eye on it. We have reached out to Governor Newsom, not heard back, but hope springs eternal. But watch this state very, very closely. There are some political rumblings going on there. The mayor could just be the first indication of that.